if you've noticed, there are going to be some practices that are missing off of the YouTube channel. And one of them specifically was I did not have my mic on. So live and learn. And I was like, well, I recorded a full hour practice, but no audio. And it just would have been weird to try to like dub over it. So I just scrapped it. It's okay. You have to do that sometimes, right? It's okay. You know, like this is part of life. This is part of how we adult and we work through these things, right? Instead of me getting upset and angry with myself, just saying, well, there's another practice next week I can record, right? It's okay. All right, so sitting up tall, crossing your ankles or maybe crossing at your shins. Sitting up nice and tall. Bring those shoulders over your hips and just allow the shoulders maybe to lift towards the ears. Good, and then as you exhale, slowly release the shoulders down, away from your ears, down your back. And again, once more, inhale, lift them up. Exhale, release, depress the shoulders away from the ears. And I can tell, since I have, let's do a couple more times with your breath. I can tell as I've been at the studio now for 2 weeks, I'm feeling like more compression and tension in my shoulders. So for me, I know it's going to be a practice. I have to start really paying attention and incorporating a lot of this stuff while I'm sitting there at the front desk. So just taking these little movements throughout your day. I know I got to practice what I preach. So I'm like, I got to do this. I got to do this for myself. One more time. Lift up, inhale, exhale, release. Good. And then keep the shoulders wide. Gently pull them back like you're squeezing the shoulder blades together behind you. Good. And then maybe allow your eyes to close or soften, or looking down at something very softly on the ground. And then, but keeping your chin level with the floor. Relaxing your tongue in your mouth. And on those exhales, can you gently pull your belly button in towards your spine? And pay attention to what your hands and what your feet are doing. Did you make fists with your hands, or your toes like curled in? Are you like kind of, I guess, clenching? What do you call with your feet? When you clench your fist, what do you do with your feet? Is there a word for that? I don't know. Good, but see if you can soften and relax the hands and the feet, the toes. And as if a string was at the crown of your head and someone was pulling you up, can you lengthen through the crown? Press down through your sitting bones. Feel that lengthen your spine. And whatever is coming into your mind, whatever thoughts are floating in those clouds in your mind sky, can you just acknowledge them? You notice them, right? Whatever they are. It could be the same thought that's been on repeat all day long for the last month or 30 years. Who knows, right? Sometimes they're in there for a while. But if you recognize whatever the thought is, acknowledge it and just tell it you're going to get to it later. Right? Maybe you will, maybe you won't. Sometimes I do that too. I'll be sitting there or I'll be driving and I'll think of something that is just not pleasant. And I'm like, I don't really want to think about this anymore. It causes discomfort. It causes pain. It's like I'm re-injuring myself with this thought. And I don't need to keep doing it. It's a practice. Especially if you've been, like myself, been living with this dialogue for many years, right? It's going to take a while to undo it. So offer yourself that compassion, that love, and grace. Taking a few more breaths, just noticing how the breath is feeling in your body. Your body is still, so you should hopefully be able to feel it when it enters. How does that temperature feel on the in breath through the nose? And how do you feel after that exhale? A little lighter, a little more free. All right. And just reminding all of us as we enter into our yin practice this evening to only go as far as feels comfortable and safe in the body, never forcing or pushing the body into a shape that just does not serve. And when you're ready, just gently blink open your eyes, come back to your space, wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers. And let's start with our first posture, friends. How are we feeling? All right, how's the connection? Looks like it says bad. All right, well, you guys are listening, you hear me, so that's good. Hello, Jay, welcome. Hi. Okay, lovely. Lovely to have all 56 of you. Let's see how this number grows as class goes on. All right, so you know I love a really nice, gentle hip opener to start. It's been better? Okay, maybe me moving away helped. Okay, so let's see. I mean, you do hear the airplanes, so that's also an issue, right? All's good there. Thank you, Patricia. Appreciate it very much. Okay, good. And thank you, the hearts. I'm assuming the hearts meant everything is operating as it needs to be. Okay, so let's find ourselves in a long-legged butterfly. Bring the soles of the feet together. Nice. If you feel like the hips are rounding back, right, and it's not possible to sit up on the sitting bones and bring the pelvis kind of to that neutral position, find a blanket or a towel or a pillow if it's not too big, it's not too tall, and you can sit on it like that, and maybe that'll help give you a little more space. And then bring the soles of the feet together. You can draw the heels in closer if you like, or you can keep them further away. So you may notice if you draw the ankles and the feet in more, you're going to feel it more on the inside. If you take the feet further away, you're going to feel it more on the outside. So choose your own adventure. Where do you feel like you need that sensation, that stretch? Okay, we're going to come down into this shape for 4 minutes. Really nice posture to just go inward, spend a little bit more time quietly reflecting and breathing and paying attention to the sensations, right? Again, that's why I feel this practice is so healing, because we are asked to slow down and pay attention. And we don't get to do that very often throughout our day. So this is why this practice is so important, to just pause. We all need this. We all need this. So just slowly let gravity do the work in bringing you down closer to the floor. You don't need to get there, okay? Just go gentle, go easy, do what feels right. Stop when your body says stop. And maybe you gently bring your chin in closer towards your chest to get more sensation in the back of your neck. Just gently notice what you're doing with your jaw. Are you clenching? or your teeth, like, can you put a little space in between your top and your bottom teeth? Let the tongue soften and let the breath be very smooth and gentle. And pay attention, because sometimes when we get to certain spaces in the posture, we kind of hold the breath. So be aware of what's happening. Are you breathing? Did you stop breathing? Keep softening and allowing your body to release more and more towards the floor. All right, friends, slowly begin to walk yourself back up with your arms. And gently take the hands, maybe bring the knees together, or straighten the legs, give them a little wiggle if that's what you need. Or maybe the hands come behind. Just give the heart a little lift here. So feel free to take some more dynamic movement if you need it. Maybe take the knees side to side, windshield wiper them. Good. Take a few more moments of movement. Hello, Lisa Nanda. Welcome. Yes, of course, joining is better than not joining, right? The only practice I regret is the one I skipped, right? It's not the one I went to, it's the one I skipped. I've never regretted a yoga practice, because even if anything, right, if I'd gone to the practice and maybe it was a sub, oh my gosh, those were fun. And you never met the sub before, and you go in and you're like, oh my gosh, like this is not my jam. This is not my teacher. It's a lesson in patience. That's your yoga practice for the day, right? It's in patience and to be compassionate with yourself and to the teacher. Yeah, that's my lesson every time that's happened to me, right? When I've gone to a class and I'm like, oh, I hate this class today. That was my practice. To be okay with the practice that wasn't enjoyable. Oh gosh, right? Okay. If you want to take any movement, maybe it's hands and knees and maybe some cats and cows. But take a few more breaths. And we are doing a lot of hips tonight, it looks like. Lower back stuff. So this might feel really good to take some cats and cows here. And Lisa Nanda, if there's anything else that you want to address, anything going on in your body, please feel free to drop it in. Exactly, and I can barely do anything since my lower back is killing me today. You will do what you can. Yes, yeah. Please let me know. Okay, so we are doing some lower back stuff, and then we're gonna do some more hip stuff, and then so make sure you have some blankets, towels if you need some support for the knees. I know that we have a couple people on here with some knee stuff, so if that does not work, let me think what we can do. We can do some stuff on the back then, because basically, essentially what I want you to do is, we're trying to open up the hips a little bit so we can do some other hip work. All right. So if you need that support for the knee, because we are headed to dragons, We're going to step the right foot forward, and you can use your blocks, have them close by. And if this is just not going to work for you like this, right? Because we are just going to take it into a regular dragon lunge first. Keep the hands on the blocks and just keep that knee over the ankle, right? And just drop the hips as much as you can. If that doesn't work because of the knee, if it's padding just won't work, let's come to your back and draw the knee in. Okay. Okay. Just breathe, right? Just do what you can, right? The idea here is to get a nice hip flexor opening. So let's pause here. I'm going to set the timer for 3 minutes because we're going to go through a few series of dragons. And then, of course, you get to choose the appropriate depth. And if it's right for you, you can just stay right here in our high flying dragon. Totally fine. This is great. You're still getting that nice hip stretch, that nice opening on the left side. And just breathe. And see if you can keep the chest and the heart open here. Good. Just breathing. Good. And if you wish, you are more than welcome to get a little bit deeper into the posture. You can drop the blocks down. You can bring hands on the inside. You can also drop down to elbows if that is just going to make more sense to you. Because like I said, we're going to go through a few of them. We've already been here for a little over a minute. So maybe you're down on the elbows, or maybe you're on the hands on the ground. It's totally fine. Some more options. You can wing out your dragon. So if you are going to do that, turn your toes, your right toes, so they're pointing towards the right corner, and then just gently let the knee fall open. I know I'm kind of in my knee's way with my upper body, but it's kind of just, on the razor edge side of the right foot. Good. And you can stay here, or like I said, you can get lower if that suits you. And if you're feeling enough wherever you are, then stay there. That's fine. Good. Oof. Find that edge and just breathe. I don't know, that first pose was really nice. That butterfly really helped me. Even just for those 4 minutes. So brief, but so good. About 5 more breaths here. Keep lifting through the heart. Put a little bend in your elbows if you want. Good. All right, and then very gently walk your hands back and begin to straighten that front leg. If you want to bend and straighten, you can do that too. But just notice, like as I'm moving, I can feel kind of like the tenderness, right? The rebound effect from that stretch. My muscles or all the soft tissues are like, I'm feeling something right now, right? All right, good. And then when you're done, you can step that knee back, come off the hands for a moment, maybe do some wrist circles in one direction and reverse. You being nice to your chickie now? All right, we will step the left foot forward and start the whole cycle again. Have those blocks ready if that is where you are starting. All right, so I'm going to keep my right knee on the blanket and then just drop my hips into this lunge. Again, I'm still making sure that my knee is over my ankle. I'm not doing overstepping dragon. That wasn't one of the ones I gave today. But if you know it and it feels right and it doesn't cause any, bad feelings, then go ahead and let that knee come over the ankle, right? Isn't it funny how like we say certain things in certain practices, like not to do, right? Like it's like, oh no, you can't let your knee go beyond your ankle. What? Why not? Is it going to break? No, it's not. But for some people, it does not feel good. So if it does not feel good, sharp shooting pain or snapping, then I want you to stop. But if it feels fine, then you can. But if you're staying upright, then maybe you stay upright here. Let those hips drop a little more. Feel that sensation on the right side now. Keep the heart open. And just notice, are you holding on anywhere? Are you clenching with that right glute, maybe? Can you release a little bit more through that hip? Press the hips forward a little more. And then maybe walk the hands on the inside. You can drop the blocks down or lose them all together, right? And then if you want to wing out the dragon, left toes, just slightly turn those toes so they're towards the left corner of your mat, and then gently drop the left knee open. Good. Continue to drop those hips. If you can, if it's within your range and it's within your practice and you feel comfortable doing it, then do so. Otherwise, stay right where you are. It's all about finding that appropriate depth for each shape, holding still, and then we're going to hold for time. Keep that smooth, even breath flowing. And if you winged that knee out, slowly bring it back up. Come to your hands if you came down to elbows. And again, maybe a little bend and straighten of that front leg. Notice how the right hip feels, how that hip flexor feels. Does it feel really loose now? Good. And step your knee back when you're ready. And just take a moment to pause. Notice how you feel. Right, maybe you come to a kneeling position, a little Virasana. Just notice. Let those palms face up. Good. From here, let's come down into a child's pose. Let's just take a brief pause in child's pose. So if you want, you can take a blanket and a bolster, and you can bring the bolster in between the knees and do something like that if you want a little softer setup, right? Or if you need more support, if the heels and the glutes don't touch the sitting bones, you can place a blanket there just to give yourself a little bit more support. You can bring hands underneath the bolster as well. Turn your head one way and breathe here. There's always the option to not use anything as well, right? You don't have to use anything. Sometimes the props just support, right? That's what they do. They help support. As you are ready, my friends, place your hands under your shoulders. Slowly inhale to come up. 2 minutes. It was only 2 minutes that we were in child's pose, but boy, my time just got expanded by like 10 minutes at least, right? Okay. So I want to take us into a pigeon or sleeping swan, as we call it in yin practice. If this does not work for you, then please come to your back. You're going to take a figure 4 on both sides. So let us go ahead and get there. If you would like to add something underneath you, if, because sometimes pigeon, we cannot get the hips to rest on the floor. And if that's the case, like for myself, I need a little blanket support. It just feels better because otherwise I'm just kind of hanging out. And we're in this hold we're going to hold here for 2 minutes. We're not going to be here for super long. But after 2 minutes, you're going to, it's going to be uncomfortable to hang out that way. So use what you need. Maybe you need a bolster. Maybe you want to use a block. It's kind of personal. I like a blanket. So for me, I'm going to start with my right leg forward and then carefully adjust your blanket underneath your hips. You might need to move around a little bit to get it just right. So you're more than welcome to stay upright. Make sure that back leg is extended, right? And this knee, well, remember, the shin does not need to be parallel with the top of your yoga mat. I know a lot of us are taught that, like, oh, bring your, bring your shin to the front of your yoga mat so it's parallel with the top of your yoga mat. I'm like, yeah, not in this lifetime, and I'm okay with that. All right, so we're going to be here for 2 minutes. After you've been here for a little while and then you want to come down to your elbows, you can. If you want to go ahead and bring your chest all the way down to the floor, you can do that as well. But work your best to kind of like square your hips. But notice if this is putting too much pressure on your front knee. If it's too much pressure, then switch over and take that figure 4 on your back. So interlace your hands through your left knee because your right ankle is crossed over on your left knee, and then pull that left knee in towards your chest. And where can you soften? Where can you let go? Maybe come down to your elbows. Maybe it's a little bit easier to relax or to soften if you're not holding yourself upright. Again, just take a moment to scan your body. Notice where you're holding tension in the face, in the forehead, in your eyes, in your jaw. Just notice and release, right? Because that's what this practice is asking you to do. It's just asking you to pay attention, to notice these things, make observations without any judgment, without any self, criticism or negative self-talk. It's just noticing. So being a witness, right, to your practice. All right, and if you came down, carefully place hands under shoulders, slowly come back up. A couple ways to come out. If you want to just step it back to a down dog, you can do that. If you want to take a down dog, you can do that too. Pedal it out before we go to the other side. Or if you want to just step it back to hands and knees and take some cats and cows. Or just use the all fours as a transition until you come up to a down dog. Take a few breaths before we go to the other side. Take some movement. Listen to your body and what it is asking for. Okay, and then when you're ready, let's go ahead and switch to the other side. So if you took pigeon or if you took sleeping swan on the first side and you don't want to do it on the next side because of whatever reason, go ahead and switch to your back. Or if you were on your back and you're ready to go to the other one, go for it. I'm just adjusting my blanket for my knee or actually, no, it's not for my knee. Just kidding. I forgot what pose I was doing. Oh, midlife. So much fun. Okay, so go ahead and lay that left shin down. Extend through the right leg. Up on your hands. Stay here. Just settle into this shape. Let the body, before the initial, after the initial shock, like, wait, what are we doing? We're doing pigeon. Oh, we're doing sleeping swan. This is a big hip opener. Once your body is like, oh, I remember this one. Just hold there for a few breaths. And then as you're ready, you come down to elbows and lay your sleeping swan down. Slowly walk your hands under your shoulders. Inhale to come up. Again, step it back to all fours or maybe a down dog. Or if you want, you can carefully just guide this back leg forward and just kind of come into a seat. So that's one option or two options or three options. And then if you need some movement, take that movement now. I do want to get into a little bit of a back bend and a heart opener since we were kind of dealing with low energy and just a little meh, kind of sensations feeling. I think it would be nice to do a little camel, right? So let's do that. Again, if you want to take a blanket or a towel underneath your knees, feels nice. Going to take advantage of it. You can bring your blocks also. Or you don't have to use any blocks at all. You can just kind of rest your hands on your low back. So choices. Just make sure everything is lined up. You have your shoulders over your hips, hips are over knees. So we're all in this kind of nice line. And then you can bring your hands to your low back and just slowly begin to lift the heart up and over as if you had a giant beach ball behind you, like a really big one, or one of those like therapy balls, right, that are so popular people like to sit on. And then you can just kind of like lean over like that, right? It doesn't have to be a super big back bend. We're going to be here for 2 minutes. So don't go super deep. Don't do what I did the first yin practice I ever took, which was go too far, too deep, too fast. I did not understand the concept of going slow. All right. Now, if you want, you can always find those blocks and do that. That's better for you. So you pick how deep you're taking your camel. And then you can curl the toes under, or tops of the feet can be flat. Lots of choices here. And then you can keep your gaze looking forward if it's too much on your neck. Protect yourself, right? Drop your head all the way back only if it feels comfortable and safe for you today. And don't forget that's going to change from day to day. Because sometimes postures I do, one day are fine. But then maybe 2 days later, I'm like, nah, body's not having it today. So listen, the body is always communicating. Good. So nice opening through the front body, a little compression in the back, right? Maybe you feel something turning on, right? Maybe you feel a little energy. Lifting the heart, just think of your heart is shining towards the sky. Nice breaths here. Good. For a second, I thought I forgot to turn on my timer, but we're fine. We're almost done. I was like, this is a terrible posture to not have your timer for. Good. All right, friends, carefully come back up and then just rest, just pause. Feel that rebound effect. Feel that after effect from that shape. I'm feeling it in my low back, right? I'm feeling it in other areas. I feel that opening across my heart. Good. Okay, friends, let us come down to our backs. And I think after such a nice back bend like that, heart opener, let's do a twist to counteract it. Oh, I know I'm moving your babies. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? You got Wolfie and Chicky. Okay, I'm just moving you right there, sorry. Okay, so come down to your backs, but before you head into a twist, hug your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little rock. Move all the things out of the way. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Yes, rock a little. We haven't done too much, actually any really. They've all been seated and some big hip openers, and lunging. So this feels hopefully really nice now. So just rock a little, maybe take hands on top of knees and knee circles in one direction. Good. Then reverse. Good. All right. Your choice, friends. You can take both knees to one side, right? Just make sure that left shoulder is grounded down, or maybe it's a single leg twist. So take whatever version of twist works best for you today. And we'll hold here for about a minute on each side. Come on, Mama, lay down. Come on, lay down. Come on. Come on. Lay down, baby girl. So a nice gentle twist to realign the spine, wring out any toxins, right? Helps the digestion and elimination. Gently inhale, bring the knees back together, hug them into your chest. Again, maybe rock a little side to side. All right, next side. Single leg or both legs together. Good, and then slowly exhale, draw the knee or knees across your body, but place that right shoulder on the floor. Good. Breathing here. And it's gonna vary from side to side, right? One side you might get a little bit more, and one side might not be able to go as far. That's okay. You're respectful, you're listening, and you're noticing. You're just observing. Right? We're not gonna get frustrated and go, oh my gosh, this knee should go down just as far as the other one. No, that's okay. It doesn't have to. Remember, we are not perfectly symmetrical. And have you ever seen one of those pictures they've done of somebody's face when it's symmetrical? They look weird. So it's okay. We're all perfect enough, right? We don't need to be even more perfect. Gosh, how gross would that be? Okay, gently come to your back. One more time. Maybe this time it is a happy baby. So grab the outside edges of your feet if you're joining me, or maybe you're grabbing the big toes or the backs of your knees or your calves or your ankles, whatever you can reach. But let's see if you can get the knees to drop towards the elbows, excuse me, the armpits. Knees into the armpits. Good. Feet, the soles of your feet are facing the sky. To whatever degree you can get them there. Good. And very gently, just bring your legs down. Go ahead, straighten them. If being on your back is super uncomfortable, you can allow the knees to bend and place the soles of the feet on the floor and knock the knees in together. So you can do something like that, constructive rest. Or maybe you bring a bolster underneath the backs of your legs and a blanket under your head. And you can come into a nice supportive Shavasana. I'm going to be here for a few moments. Maybe bring your hands to your belly or alongside you. Let your eyes close. The back of your head is on the flat part of your skull. So you're looking directly at the sky. Oh, now she's going to get wild during Shavasana. Okay. Testing our practice, are you? Dog? No? Okay. Good girl. Good girl. And since we just had that new moon, if there's anything in your life that you are looking to manifest or to draw closer to you, maybe just think of whatever it is, what you are speaking into existence in your world. So just kind of think of the end game, think of the goal, right? What you want, but try not to have any attachments as to how it's going to happen, how it's going to manifest, because it may not look like anything the way you thought it would. I know it's definitely working out that way for me. So, but it's there, it's happening, but it just didn't look the way I thought it would, and that's okay. It's not happening the way we thought it would play out. And that's us not having control and being okay with that. Some call that faith. Some call it instinct, trust, whatever you call it. It's working in our favor as long as we are in the right place to receive it, right? If we are in receptive mode, we are open to the possibilities. So stay open to the possibilities. Begin to invite some fuller, deeper breaths into your body. Bring some movement to your fingers and to your toes. Begin to circle the wrists and the ankles in one direction. And reverse that direction of circles. Good. Carefully inhale, reach your arms overhead, full body stretch. Be mindful of any furniture or props around you, windows or walls. Good. And carefully bend one knee at a time. Shift your hips over and roll over to one side. And just pause. My heat just kicked on and it feels so nice. All right. Very carefully As you're ready, come up to your comfortable seat. We will close practice, my friends, and I will have this up tomorrow on YouTube. If you ever want to share it with anybody, please do that. Okay, perfect. All right. Oh, okay. So we got from 56 to 96. Right on. I love it, you guys. Sweet. Cool. All right. So pay what you can. The donation button is there. If you don't want to donate on Insight Timer, I do have my link tree at the very top of my website. And my website is on my page here on Insight Timer. So on the link tree is all the other things too. The link to the YouTube, my Venmo, PayPal. I don't think I have Cash App on there, but I have Cash App as well. If you know my phone number, then you have Apple Cash. All the ways, right? And so don't forget, every Friday we're going to be doing this practice, yin, 5 p.m. my time. I'm here in Las Vegas. Next week, I will actually be in Sedona, or at least next weekend, I'll be in Sedona. So I'll be teaching from a hotel with my partner here. She'll be there with me. And then what else? Okay, March 1st, which is a Saturday, I'm doing the self-care workshop. It's restorative yoga, some journaling, some meditation, some reflection, some chat. It's a 90-minute practice. It's another donate what you can for the practice. Normally, I would charge about $50 a person for this practice. So just keep that in mind if you're showing up. I'm not saying you have to donate 50, but I'm also sending people, the PDF of the workshop with all of the questions and the postures and everything that we do and talked about. And then in May, I'm also offering the trauma sensitive yoga practice for 5 Saturdays, 45 minutes each, starting at 10 a.m. And that's for people who are survivors of sexual abuse. So that is a cause and that is close to my heart. So I want to give back for that. So please join me for that. That's 5 Saturdays, all 5 Saturdays in May at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And then the self-care workshop again, March 1st, 10 a.m. And that's going to be for 90 minutes. I love all the hearts coming through, everybody. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much. I hope you got what you needed from practice tonight. Let me pop over for some of the comments really fast, and then we'll close. Oh, good, Mary. Me too. I so needed that. I totally needed this practice tonight. I love it. Gosh. Good. And join me in May. And so again, I said at the beginning of practice, if you want to join my newsletter, I'm sending out my newsletter tomorrow on the 1st of February. I can't believe we've already made it through 1 month. Again, how are we doing? Did any of us have any goals or resolutions that we made? Are we still doing them? Are we still plugging along? Because you can do it. And if you need any support, I'm a health and wellness coach. I'd be happy to help you on your journey. All right, so let's go ahead and close our practice. Gosh, those hip openers felt so nice. Okay. All right, friends, on your inhale, reach your arms overhead. Palms touch. Exhale, bringing down all of that divine universal energy to your heart centers. And that divine universal energy vibrates as the frequency of love through which you and I and all sentient beings are connected on this planet. The light in me salutes and honors the light in all of you, my friends. Namaste. Thank you so much. Hope you're feeling better because it's Feel Good Friday. And I will see you next Friday. And I will be in Sedona, but we'll have the same practice time, 5 p.m. I'm going to put all my classes in this weekend for February. And little one will be joining me. We're going to take a little girls trip to Sedona. So, all right, friends, don't forget to drink your water. Very good. Lisa Nanda, I hope that helped you. I know maybe you might have been a little limited with practice tonight, but I hope you got something out of it tonight. All right, friends, I will see you next time. Hi, Carrie. I'll see you next Friday. Thank you, Lucy, and thank you all. I'll see you next time.